Picture a single building, not a temple, not a palace, a warehouse of thought. 500,000 scrolls, every play ever staged in Athens, every star chart ever drawn. The complete works of thinkers whose names survive today only as footnotes because their actual writing is gone. Now imagine that building ever burned, what we actually lost. Let's be clear about something first. The one dramatic fire story is mostly a myth. The Library of Alexandria didn't vanish in a single afternoon. It faded over centuries. Julius Caesar's siege in 48 BCE damaged it. Funding dried up under later rulers. Scholars scattered. And by the time of the Arab conquest in 641 CE, there wasn't much left to destroy. It died the way empires die, slowly, from neglect, not all at once, from a torch. But the effect was the same. We lost almost all of it. We know of philosophers whose ideas shaped Aristotle, whose work survives in a single quoted line from someone else's book. We know Eratosthenes calculated the Earth's circumference with stunning accuracy, using a stick, a well, and geometry. And we only know this because later writers mentioned it in passing. So, what if none of that had been lost? The science timeline. Here's the case for a radically different world. Alexandria wasn't just a storage vault, it was a research institution, the ancient version of a national laboratory. Scholars there were already measuring the Earth, mapping the stars, dissecting anatomy, and building early mechanical devices. If that tradition had continued unbroken for another 1,000 years, instead of being scattered and rediscovered piecemeal during the Renaissance, the timeline compresses. Some historians speculate the printing press, or something like it, could have arrived centuries earlier, since Alexandria already had scribes copying texts at scale. Optics, already understood well enough to grind lenses, might have led to telescopes or microscopes, appearing not in the 1600s, but perhaps in the 600s or 700s. None of this is certain. History isn't a row of dominoes that falls the same way twice, but the compounding effect of unbroken knowledge is real. Innovation builds on prior innovation. Every century of continuity is a century of scaffolding for the next idea, the knowledge that never had to be rediscovered. Think about how much of the Renaissance was really just recovery. European scholars spent centuries painstakingly reassembling Greek and Roman knowledge from Arabic translations, monastery copies, and fragments, essentially reverse engineering a lost civilization's homework. If the library had survived, that entire recovery project simply wouldn't have been necessary. The energy spent rediscovering Aristotle, reconstructing lost mathematical proofs, and translating half-degraded texts could have gone straight into new discovery instead. Some historians argue this could have shifted the scientific revolution earlier by centuries, not because ancient scholars were smarter, but because they wouldn't have had to start from a memory instead of a manuscript. Humbling counterpoint. But here's the important caveat. Libraries do not automatically survive the rise and fall of empires. Alexandria was tied first to Ptolemaic Egypt, then Roman Egypt, and later Byzantine Egypt. Each major transition brought new rulers, new priorities, and often less funding, prestige, and protection for older institutions. Even in an alternate version of history, where the Library of Alexandria remained physically standing, its collections might still have faced centuries of war, political instability, religious conflict, neglect, censorship, and economic decline. Manuscripts could have been stolen, scattered, damaged by fire, destroyed during invasions, or simply left to decay in poor conditions. Knowledge is not preserved just because it has been written down and placed on a shelf. It must be copied, translated, organized, funded, studied, and defended generation after generation. A library survives only as long as people in power, scholars, and society continue believing that its contents are worth protecting for the future. So maybe the real lesson isn't about one library at all. It's about how fragile the transmission of human knowledge really is, and how much of what we call progress is really just remembering what we already knew. Somewhere out there, an idea died in Alexandria that we've had to rediscover twice. We just don't know which one. Subscribe now for more fascinating stories, hidden history, and mysteries that will change the way you see the world.